Man, what's going on, my ASVAB party people? Anderson here, your ASVAB coach. I hope you're having a good day so far, gang. So look, in this video, we're going to be going over this problem right here. It's a tough one, but we went over this in one of my previous group tutoring sessions. And so sit back, relax, and watch this video. Let me explain it to you. And if you like what you see here, know that I have hundreds and hundreds of more problems and video solutions that you can use in my math bootcamp. So just check out the description of this video, and you're good. Let's get to it. So, we want to find the area of the figure shown below. We want the area of this figure. So, first things first, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? We're looking at this big old shape here, but this isn't a rectangle or a triangle or even a pentagon. Like this is, wait, what? All right, keep it calm. Remember, first things first is understand what the question's asking us to figure out. So we see here area. So whenever we think area, we usually think of a certain shape, and we think about the formula for that shape, right? All right, cool. So up next, let's see what shape we're dealing with. This looks to be, again, just a blob here, but what you may not see is that this is actually 2 or 3 rectangles that you could split this into. Watch, here's what I mean. One strategy to complete this problem, so there's 2 or 3 different ways you can do this really. Here's one way. One way is the easiest way here. You can go ahead and take the big rectangle here. You can take that big old rectangle, and then, once you find the area of the big rectangle, cut out the area. So take that and then cut out the area of that right there. If you do it that way, you're good. Because think about it. If you're trying to find the area of just this, then what's really happening is, okay, if I take the whole thing, so if I take the whole thing and then I cut out what I don't want, cut out being subtract what I don't want, then I'm good. And that's one way you can do it. I'll go ahead and solve this, and then I'll show you the other ways that you can do this. But this is the easiest way. There are other ways. So how do I get the area of the entire big rectangle? Notice that I have 14, 34. That is my length and width. Remember, the area of a rectangle equals length times width. And so what I have here is I have a length and a width of 14 and 34. And so I'll go ahead and do that right here. The area of the big old rectangle is going to be 14 times 34. Cool. And so we can use our calculators. Well, we're not really allowed to on the ASVAB. You can go ahead and use mental math. You can go ahead and do it by hand. Either way, it's all good. I'm going to go ahead and do this by hand here. So 14 times 30, and then 14 times 4. So 14 times 30. 14 times 3 is 42. So 14 times 30 is going to be 420. So that's, again, just doing this with the tens place first, and now I'm going to do it with the ones place. 14 times 4, that's going to be what? 14 times 2 is 28. So times 2 again would be 56. So plus 56. Add those together and you should get 476. Oh, look at that. There's D. No. Remember, we still need to take out the area of the smaller rectangle. We still have to take out this area here. Remember, that was the idea, right? We got to get that big old rectangle, find that area, and then cut out what we don't want, which is this right here. And so with that, we're given the length and width right there. My length is 9. Width is 22. We're feeling pretty good. And so all we have to do is 22 times 9. What's that going to be? Again, do mental math again. You can go ahead and do 20 times 9, which is 180. 2 times 9, that's going to be 18. With mental math, what we're going to get here is 198. So what did we just say again? We said we're going to take the area of the big entire rectangle, 476, and we're going to subtract from it the 198. Now we're in business. Let's go ahead and take care of it. Now, you can obviously do this. I know you know how to go ahead and subtract, but one way you can do this with mental math is just say, hey, look, let me subtract 200 instead of 198. And then that extra 2 that I subtracted by, put it back. That's it. So I'll subtract by 200, so that'll give me 276, and then add 2 back, 278. Boom, A is the answer, and we're all set. And there it is. So that's one way to do it. Let me show you the other way. I'm just going to kind of set it up for you, and then I'll let you try it out on your own here. So let me go ahead and erase all this. Here's another very popular way to do this. So again, I want to make sure you know all the different ways. What you can do is you can go ahead and partition this into 3 rectangles. You can do that because what you're going to have here is a 14 by 6 for shape number 1. So 14 times 6. Here what you're going to have is a 22 by, what's the length here? Easy to find. Because if the whole thing is 14 and this is 9, well then you have 5 left over. And so then you have 22 times 5. And here you have a 6 again by 14. There's a 14 here as well. And so boom, that's 6 times 14 again. And so there you have it. That's another way to do it. You can just cut it up into 3 separate rectangles and then add them all together. But notice that's 3 steps instead of 2 like we did earlier. Big area, small area, subtract. Here, you would find this area, this area, this area, and then add it back together. Again, a bunch of different ways that we can do this, gang, a bunch of different ways. I want you to feel comfortable here. Lastly, before I go here, one last way that you can do it. And again, you're still going to get 278. You're still going to get that. The last way you can do this is by cutting it this way. That way, you have a 6 by 9 here. So 6 times 9, 6 times 9. And then here, you have 34 by 5. But notice how in the second and third method that I showed you, you had to figure out that that was 5. In the first method that I showed you, it was just 34 by 14, then cut out 22 by 9. And so again, all of these strategies are going to work. But we have to think about what strategy is going to put us in the best position to succeed. That's what it's all about. Which way is fastest? And so with that said, my ASVAB party people, look, at the end of the day, what's most important for us, for you, is to understand multiple ways to do these problems so you can build that comfort, so you can talk about it, and then go to the ASVAB and really kick some butt. So I'm Anderson, your ASVAB coach. Again, if you want to see more of these problems, and if you want hundreds of these to practice with whenever you want to, go ahead, check out the description of this video so you can see the ASVAB Math Bootcamp. Cheers, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That way you can support the channel. But with that said, have a good day.